If you're looking for an entry-level or beginner home espresso machine that's made in Italy, that has PID digital control for your brew water and your steam pressure, and pressure profiling, that's when you can change the pressure applied to your coffee puck, for under $2,000, well, the Quick Mill pop-up is one you're definitely going to have to check out. This can't be serious, mate. For an entry-level machine, you've got a stainless steel 304 machine, backlit buttons, safety thermostat, silent pump, which is a vibration pump. You've got anti-burn steam wands. You've got a big cup rail with heaps of storage there to heat up cups, 1.8 litre water tank. You've got a 4.45 litre or 450 mil insulated boiler, copper steam pipes on the inside, wooden turned knobs, expansion valves for overpressure. You've got PID digital control, adjustable pre-infusion, eco mode, integrated shot timer, adjustable coffee temperature, adjustable steam temperature, all in a stainless steel finish, matte paint on the outside. Can't be right, mate. There's no way you can get all of that in a machine under $2,000. This isn't right. You've got to be kidding me. This I've got to see. Let's make a coffee and talk through a bit more about the Quick Mill pop-up. So we got our 58 mil group handle, which is that standard Italian sizes that you're going to have with your 18 gram or a smaller basket as well. We're going to use the DF54 here, and we're going to really give this thing a test. So we're going to do all the stuff that you would think about when you're going to have a machine that has pressure profiling or temperature control, and just see if this machine can actually handle it. If you haven't seen the DF54, it's definitely a grinder that you want to look at in this kind of space. So it's single dosing and flat burr. So I've weighed out 19.5 grams, which I believe is the right dose for this basket. We're going to, I've already sort of dialed this in just a little bit, save a bit of time. So we've got our grind going in single dose. So if you're not familiar with a single dose grinder, at the end we've got this bellows, and we can give a bit of a tap and it'll just pop out all the grinds. So if we're putting 19.5 grams in, we should get our 19.5 grams out. So we're just coming towards the end there, give that a couple of pulses and we'll turn that off. Now, if you've seen some of our other videos, we've done all these other different things like WDT and NCD. So let's give this the full workover. So we've got our flare funnel there, get a bit of low WDT, which is basically needling if you're not familiar with this, and basically it'll help take out any clumping that has happened while we've been grinding the coffee. We'll do low, middle and high WDT, get that nice and level and flat, and I'm going to give it one tap. And we've got our NCD distributor as well, beautiful pink one there. These are pretty flash, so I'll pop that in, a couple of spins, and we'll give it a nice flat tamp. So it's 58 mil in this machine, which is the same as any other commercial machine. So if you did go and buy yourself a naked handle, it would fit in this machine, which is pretty cool. Now, there's a couple of options here. This gauge actually shows us the pump pressure that's going to be applied to this coffee. Up the top here, we've got our brewing button, then we've got our steam button, and we've got our hot water button. And this is a single boiler machine. And what I've always found a bit tricky with these single boiler machines, like the Rancilio Silvia, or even its predecessor, the Pippa, you have to really be manual in how you control all of those settings. You have to fill the boiler back up with water, you have to drain the boiler. But the pop-up's certainly a lot smarter in that space, because what it will do is will automatically start to change those temperatures when you choose which option you're going to do. And if you've gone hot, and this will make sense if you've used this machine or looked into it, so if you go and make steam and you're about 120 odd degrees, maybe 123, the machine will naturally make its way back to the 93 or whatever group temperature you chose to brew with. It might take 3 or 4 minutes to get there, but it's naturally going to go back that way, which is really cool. So some smart tech in a single boiler machine. So I'm going to load that in. We'll get our cup down and it's time to brew. Over here we've got a variable pressure, which is great. So I'm going to just move it to the left. Now that's going to stop any heavy water or 9 bar being applied to the coffee. I'm going to hit my top brew button. We're going for 93 degrees. I just had to wake it up because there is actually an eco mode. So it was in sleep mode there. So now I'm going to start. We've got our shot timer happening and I'm going to give it about 5 seconds, say 6 seconds, there you go, on low infusion. And then I can increase the pressure up to a higher bar pressure. So we're sitting at about 4 bar now. I could bring that right back down to 2 bar. and I could finish it off all the way there if I wanted to, or go right back up to 9 and stop it when I'm ready. So that's pretty cool. Now, we put the scase into this and we tested it, and it's accurate. So as you move that little valve, it will definitely be exact on whatever change that you're having. So the dial does match the pressure that's being applied to the head. So we've got to go now froth some milk. So it's really simple. If we just press our button, which has the steam there, it's going across now to start to heat it up. Now we do have to get rid of some of the water, but you can see instantly the temperature has gone straight up to 111 degrees, and that's going to continue to climb. So if we want to make it a bit quicker, if we just pop in a spare jug, open up our valve, and now what's happening is that water is being pushed out of the single boiler to allow more room for steam. And you can see this is happening pretty quick. So I'm just going to turn this off. We're already at 120 degrees, and the optimal steam temperature would be about 122 to 123. We've got our espresso extraction here. That's a full double shot. I could weigh that and I could make sure my recipe was perfect, but for this demo, I think we're pretty much on the money. So there we go, we're at 127 degrees, so that's a whole lot of steam. We've got our beautiful little timber knob on this side, which is a nice finish with the black. The Cool Touch wand as well. Let's see what this actually steams like. Wow, that is a whole lot of pressure. There you go. Probably a little bit wild, I'll be honest. So I just had to find that right spot. There you go. So that is heating that small 350 ml jug really quickly. And I'm going to turn that off now because that was pretty quick. I was pretty impressed by that steam pressure. So don't forget to get your cloth, give it a bit of a wipe and give it a purge in the drip tray there just to get the milk out. Let's have a look at this milk quality. Got a tap and a swirl. That's pretty good. It's pretty silky. Let's see if I can pour out something that's worthy of the pop-up. There you go, a little bit of a stacked tulip. And that was a full double shot in a small cup. So that is very intense. It's filled it right up, and we've got a little bit of extra milk left over. So does it allow you to play and do a lot of different things? I think the easy answer is yes. Right now you can see the S up here, which means that we're on the steam. And you can see that the button is flashing, identifying that we're keeping that boiler in the setting to create high steam. So I could continue to do more coffees now, and you know, I could have done maybe 2 espressos to start, and then I could keep pumping out steam. But if I now go back to my, if I turn that off and I go back to choosing to go to my extractions, I can either flush the head, as I just showed you, or naturally, if I just let that sit, you'll see the gauge starting to come down. There you go, you can see it decreasing as we go. It's making its way back to what the temperature setting should be for brewing. Now that's a huge advantage in any of these single boiler machines, and I really like that. Some of this extra pressure will go back into your water tank, whether it be the exhaust pressure from your brewing. So if you're going to have a 2-bar extraction, that pressure has to go somewhere because the vibration pump is trying to get 9. So they're basically deflecting that pressure and putting any excess back into the water tank, which is pretty smart. And a lot of other companies have done that in the past, but to have that in a sub $2,000 machine, that's pretty impressive. What does the coffee taste like? Well, let's give it a little sip. Okay, that's really bold. It's definitely heavy. That is a real Italian style coffee. Even though I did change that variable pressure, playing around those 2 or 3 bars, it's definitely extracted so much strength out of that coffee. Do I need to play with it more? For sure. We could go back and change our grind, we could change our dose and our recipe, and then really nail the exact profile that the coffee that we've chosen is designed to do. So if you want to be able to change your brew temperatures for your PID, it's pretty simple. You can access the menu and then just reduce it higher or lower to whatever temperature that the roaster has decided is best for the beans that you're using. So I mentioned that it's chasing down in temperature now, ready to brew. You can wait if you choose, but if you're in a bit of a hurry, if you remove your coffee puck, pop in some sort of extra jug there and just start to brew, what's going to happen is that single boiler will fill up with water now. That steam will get pressed out and you will start to brew the water temperature that you want. So we had it set for 93 degrees. Now just make sure that you do have your variable valve open, because if you go down to nothing, you won't get any water through at this point. So you do want to make sure, if you've done a bit of an extraction, that you do make sure you're putting water through that boiler. You don't want to have that set on 1 bar essentially and have no water going into your head. But there you go, you can see right now we're back at 93 degrees. The single boiler is full of water, ready to do another extraction. So there you have it, the Quick Mill pop-up. It's a pretty compact, small little machine that just has all the features that you would want if you're an aspiring barista wanting to surf around with different coffees, different temperatures, or pressure profiling. Look, I haven't had the chance to play with any other machine that has all of these features for this kind of money. Have you seen something out in the market that compares with this? Because, you know, with this customized black and those features, I don't believe there's anything out in the market under that 2,000 Australian dollars that's going to hit the mark. In our little trials here, I've been very impressed with the steam quality, the temperature control, and the ability just to simply move from those different settings that a single boiler constrains you from making a better coffee. And if you're a person that's played with a single boiler, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They can be so time consuming, having to know whether you've put water into the boiler and what temperature you're actually going to heat that water up to for either brewing or steam. And if you get it wrong, I'm sure you've been one of those people out there that has, where you've had no water in that boiler and you've blown your element. It's very simple to do. It's a pretty common mistake. So I think the team here at Quick Mill has definitely nailed that in allowing the average user to be able to surf around, play with the temperatures, play with the water, and have an easy interface to do it. Because for me, for many years, we didn't talk about single boilers. Go back, have a look at our videos. We always started talking about HX machines. It was really only last year where we started to talk about the Pipper, which was a single boiler machine, because we had so many people blowing up elements and wrecking the machine because they didn't understand how to control them. So the pop-up, for me, this is the biggest win of this machine. You know, it does have all those features, but we're not going to see them coming back in here with blown elements because of that smart technology. So real credit to the team there at Quick Mill in developing this machine. I did have a chance to play with this at Milan the other year, but it was a bit of a prototype. To see it here today, I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is going to be a machine that is really going to, you know, take hold of the market, that sub $2,000 coffee machine, where you've maybe had a machine like a Breville or an entry-level Sunbeam or something like that, but you want to chase a bit more quality coffee. The pop-up's definitely going to give you that ability. You can go and buy yourself a nice timber handle to match, or you could get a naked, and you could really start to learn more about coffee if you're going to package it with something like a single dose grinder as well. So you don't have to spend thousands now to basically play with great coffee. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Do you think the pop-up is a great value machine? Do all these specs really line up when you're looking for a coffee machine? I'd love to know, and I'll happily answer any questions you have on the machine. So thanks very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Certainly appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.